the audience. But,
That's somewhere because we're back in
Newcastle
the
United
league.
now. We're not going to call them the new owners anymore because they're just owners. You know, they've been here a short space of time ago, and they've done a fantastic job, turned things around, and it's been an interesting ride so far.
It's been amazing so far. I think we're so far ahead of the curve of what they thought they could achieve in the last couple of years. To get in the Champions League this season was unbelievable in my opinion. I certainly didn't expect it. I thought maybe finish 6th or 7th would been very, very good for us, but we deserved it. We were that good. And I think this season will be a lot harder. We're playing in Europe. We get more injuries. We have a bigger squad. Chelsea can't be as bad as last year. Liverpool as well. So I think it'll be a lot tougher, but I still think we've got enough good players to cope with it. I think now it's up to the club to push on and make us into one of these the clubs that's always up there, like we used to be years ago, you know? and not let us fall behind again like we did.
What's the hardest thing about adding European football to the Premier League? What was the hardest thing for you?
It's just it's travelling really. It's the travelling. It's players being injured, players being relegated. They play a lot of games, although they shouldn't moan. I do hate when they moan at playing games. I used to love playing games. More than training, you know. I think you can play more games than training. I think that's the key to it. So they do moan a lot, I must admit. But you just need a deeper squad. You play so many games, and they're very intense games. The Premier League is the best league in the world by a million miles. Hardest league in the world. It's never an easy game, and you're coming off playing European football, so it's going to be a lot tougher. We have got a few injury-prone players. You know, Alan, we need him to stay fit because he hasn't yet, but we need him to be as fit as possible. We need all our players to stay. If our players stay fit, and we have all our players fit, then we're a match for anybody, I think.
I think with Eddie Howe coming in as well, I think it raised a few eyebrows. I mean, we know that Unai Emery was the first choice for the owners at the time, but Eddie Howe's come in and he's grasped his opportunity with both hands, hasn't he?
You know what? I was one of them that raised eyebrows because, you know, he'd done really well at Bournemouth, got into the Premier League, and then went to Burnley. Didn't do so well when he left Bournemouth, came back, sat by Bournemouth. So I was probably one of those guys as well that thought, you know, is that just a short-term appointment? But again, I always say about this club, he's got it. He's got the air, he's got what it means to play for Newcastle, and that's what you know, Bobby, Geordie got it, Kevin got it. You know, it's the managers that get the area and get what it's like, and you know, he lives here with his family, and I think that's very, very important to the people. And I think the players that they've brought in, you know, it's that Dan Ashworth or him or combined, they're players that fit in perfectly well, brilliantly. And so whoever's chosen to play, because what I think about a manager or the manager and the team around him is you live and die by the players you buy. You know, Keegan got most of his players right. And I think you get most of your players right, you've got half a chance. And if you pick those players that are right for your club. You know, I think we've had too many players over the years that have come to this club just for the money or just to be in the Premier League and not really asked about Newcastle. And I think now we're buying players that actually want to play for Newcastle. Because if you go and sign a best player and Mbappe and you don't want to come, then don't sign him. I think we've got to have players that want to play for this football club. And I think we've got them now.
From Eddie Howe's perspective, bringing in the first player was always going to be important. Kieran Trippier, what a signing, and he's given him the captaincy. Watching him when he was injured last, in that Great Escape season where he was on the sidelines barking instructions to the back four. He's led by example, hasn't he? How important is he?
He's been brilliant. He's been brilliant signing, I think. I don't think we could have got a better right back than him. Again, wants to play for the club, gets the area, gets the people. I didn't realise how good he was. You know what I mean? He didn't play a lot for England. He's got cold water. I didn't realise how good he was. I mean, he played, and I saw him play left back for England. He was just as good there. So I think it was a great sign for us, and a bit like, it's not the same thing with Brian Cookline. When we signed Brian Cookline, you need that captain, you need that. Although the difference is that Trippier plays every single game, and rightly so.
He's also got under Brian, some great youth in it. And how important is that going to be moving forward? We seem to be a club that wasn't attractive to up-and-coming young players coming in, but now we seem to be able to attract some of the best. And we've signed Yankuba Minte this summer. We signed Garen Kowal. Obviously, in the last transfer window, we've got others, others who come in who we may not hear about for 4 or 5 years, but that and add that. Lewis Miley and Elliot Anderson's progression. Newcastle seems to be a healthier place.
Well, Steve, I said before, I touched on it before. When I first came to this club, when I joined, I was 26. We had Lee Clark, Steve Howie, Robbie Elliott, Steve Watson, Alan Thompson. We had a great proper youngsters coming through, and since that time, that's a long time ago. I'm not going to sound old, but that's a long time ago. And we've had a few come through, Shoulder and Stephen Taylor and a few others, but nothing where this club should have players coming through year in, year out, the size of this football club. And we haven't, and we fell behind, a long way behind, and it's great us buying these young players, but it's still going to take you. You need to get your academy as top. I mean, I visited the academy with my son last year, and it's getting better, but it's going to take time for us to get the youngsters back in. No amount of money is going to do it. It's just time and running it properly. And as you say, Elliot Anderson, I think was an unbelievable talent. I think he's one of these. I've always said about midfielders, and even our midfielders, I'm always critical of them. That what I used to do, I used to just basically give the ball to beers and run in the box. But no, because we've got academies now, they want to touch, they want to play, and you don't give the ball away. No midfielders want to run in the box. And I saw his goal the other day. I can't remember who it was against. He ran and he got himself in the box. And I think what we have liked, and what we have in midfield we do like, is someone who can score goals. Who gets in the box late and he scores goals. Frank Lampard was probably one of the best at it. And I think those sort of midfield players, nobody wants to do it, and it looks like he wants to do it. Run in the box without the ball. All the players want to tippy tap it. I'll get a touch and I'll pass it in. I'll do that. And I'll get my rate up when I'm passing the ball, my percentage rate, and not giving the ball away. But to get goals, you have to get in the box. And I think it looks like he wants to get in the box and wants to score goals, and I think we've lacked that. It wouldn't surprise if he starts the season.
I was going to ask you that question. Let's have a show of hands. How many people think Elliot Anderson deserves to start the first game of the season? Wow. He has had a good pre-season, and when you think about it, you play your best players, don't you?
You don't always know stuff.
I've got a few rude bullets.
You should do. It should be regardless of your age, or if you have a good pre-season, which he's had a brilliant pre-season. Eddie Howe's come and said he was the fittest in all the tests. He played well in the game. He scored goals. Then start him. I don't know why we're waiting for him. Jude Bellingham was playing at 16. Look where he is now. So why are we waiting? He's that good, and he's playing better than the other midfielders. Play him. Right? And I think it wouldn't surprise me if he starts the season. I hope he does, because he deserves to start the season.
Okay, good stuff. That's enough from me. Let's have some questions from you. You must have a question you want to ask Rob. Don't be shy. The first person puts their hand up. We usually get a few. So anybody want to be the first person to ask a question? Yes, Nick.
Well, you just sort of give a bit of an insight there. I always thought, with your knowledge of the game, the way that you played, you'd make a fantastic manager. I just wondered if you ever looked at it or dabbled with it.
You know what? I went for the. Would you believe I went for the Bournemouth job just after I retired, and my experience put me right off. I put a CV in, got an interview with Bournemouth. There was 3 of us in for it. There was myself. There was Les third name, because I saw it. As I went in, he came out. As he come out, I went, Les, let it go. And yeah, all right, yeah. And there was Kevin Bond, and I thought, well, if I don't get it, Les will get it. And then Kevin Bond got it. And I found out years later that Harry Redknapp paid his wages, so it's all like he put a little down on it for me for going into. And the only other time I was going to come back was when Alan was going to take over after we got relegated. He was bringing me in with him after that, which he shook hands with Mike Ashley on. And unfortunately, then Mike Ashley remained on the whole deal. So, but no, I think I thought about it for a while, and then I thought it's not for me, sort of thing. I would have come in as an assistant to Alan when he was manager, that sort of thing. But I enjoyed watching my boys play, which I wouldn't have been able to do if I'd become manager. It's all consuming. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and my two lads were playing football, and I enjoyed watching them play. So as much as I do miss football, and I do miss the day-to-day banter of being around a dressing room, and I still managed to keep my ear to the ground and keep watching the players. I like watching youngsters come through. I like seeing them come through. I like seeing them develop, because that's what I watch really with my lads. And I watch a lot of, I don't know what anyone else feels the same, but Premier League, when I played, I thought it was exciting. And I look at some games now and I think, do I want to watch that game? Do I really want to watch that? I like watching Man City, I like watching, but for me it's all about, it seems to me more, let's not get beat. Let's put our players here so we won't get beat, and we'll go for a 0-0. And when I played with Keegan, we never changed our tactics. We just attacked people. And I think football's lost a little bit about that. Certainly in VAR. I fucking hate VAR. So I watch now. My son plays for Wrexham, and my sons have played in the lower leagues. And it's like the old days, because you can kick, you can elbow, and VAR. There's big tackles going in, and I prefer watching that sometimes than watching, when someone's youngster. I I'd hate to be a player now, you score a goal and you've got to wait. I hate that. Imagine Alan Shearer be like that. He'd be waiting around for 2 minutes with his arm in the air, and then. So, I think VAR's going into this technical thing, and all the coaches, I just love to see them just go and I understand why they don't do it, but their jobs are on the line and all this sort of thing. But I just want, as King said, it's an entertainment. You know what I mean? I'm not entertained really a lot of the time by the Premier League. So if I'd have been a manager, I would have been sacked with a few. I'd have played like Keegan. So
good question. Okay, next question. Yes, Neil.
Could I have two?
Yeah, go for it.
The first one, Alan St-Maximin's departure, thoughts, and the second one, if it wasn't football, what other sport would it be?
Good question. Do you know what? I think under the Ashley era, he was our shining light. He was the one that got bums off seats, and still does. I always said, and I still maintain what I said, that for somebody of his ability, great to watch, didn't score enough, didn't create enough, certainly didn't run back. Ginola didn't run back, but at least he scored a correct shit like goals. So for me, for him going and replacing with Harvey Barnes, I like Harvey Barnes. I think he'll like it here as well. People and the fans will love it, because he'll work his nuts off and he'll score goals. And I think that's. So yeah, I'm disappointed to see him go. So I like flair players and all that, but I didn't like playing with flair players. They were a fucking pain in the arse. Remember Ginola when Ginola first arrived, Scott Sellers was playing left wing for us, and I said this Ginola turned up. Didn't know who he was, and we played a game against the reserves. And Scott Sellers was in the reserves. Ginola was playing left wing for us, and playing against reserves. When you play against reserves, they try to start. So first year playing against reserves, and Bez is sort of like getting absolutely arsehole by the right wing and the right. We're getting beat 1-0, and I'm fucking going mad, absolutely mad. And 2 seconds later, he's got the ball, he's dribbled past a couple of people, he's whipped it in the top corner. And I just remember walking back, chuckling to myself. I went past Scott Sellers, and Scott Sellers went, Well, that's me fucking, isn't it? Yes, no. What was the other question?
So if it wasn't football,
I was a football. Do you know what? I like golf now. Other sports, Steve was talking about cricket. I hate fucking cricket.
Good win the day though.
But yeah, it just doesn't interest me at all. And I know quite a lot of cricketers, and we used to train at Chelsea Street, and so I didn't like that sport. I don't like rugby. I was watching a bit of Gaelic football the other day. I didn't have a fucking clue what they were. So football was my only sport with it, but golf I really like. When I first came to Newcastle, I didn't play golf. Right? And Keegan forced us to play golf. So he used to take it, because he loved golf. Him, Ginola, Al, all loved golf. So he used to take us away. Well, I don't play golf. Well, you've got to come. So I thought, fuck it, I might as well play golf. And I really like it now. That's the sort of sport I like watching it on telly. And
what they got there?
I'm playing up 12 now.
Bandit.
12-ish. Don't weigh my buggers out.
Good question, Nick. Anybody else? Yes?
Which of the current team would you have most wanted to play with?
Which is the current?
Which of the current Newcastle team would you have most wanted to play with for your time?
What player?
Yeah.
You know what? I get asked all the time. It was quite easy when I used to get asked, how many of the team were getting in entertainers, and I always just say, fucking none of them. None of them. But now we've got a team, and I'm thinking, oh, hang on. There's a thing, Bruno. I love Bruno. I'm trying to take my place, so. Trippier, I think. I think again Trippier would get it, but no disrespect to Warren and Watson, but he's some player, So I think playing with him would have been bombing up and down would have been good. Isaac, I really like. I always thought Callum Wilson was our top striker, but I think Isaac will start before him this season. And rightly so, the way he played. He didn't keep himself fit. Then I think again, I'm looking forward to seeing Harvey Barnes. I think he's going to be a top player. And John Linton, as much as I gave him shitload of stick,
We all did.
when he was a Newcastle number 9, whoever gave him that shit would be shot. But playing with him would have been amazing, because he's a giant, isn't he? I remember me and David Batter used to play against bloody Vieira and what's his name at Arsenal as well? Petit. Those 6'3" and like that. Scholes and Keane were right, they're the same size. I think people must look at him and think, fuck me, he's massive. He's huge, by the way. So yeah, I think I'd like to play with him as well. But there's a few now that I think would be pushing entertainers.
Okay. I'll come to you first, then you. Go for it.
What advice did you give both your sons when they were wanting to get into professional football?
But my only advice, and I still give them now, is enjoy it. I said to them when they started, I said, whatever level you play at, just enjoy playing football. Because I said, it goes quick. It fucking goes quick. I said before, and we'd win the league next year, and we'll win the next year. The years run out, and they go so quick. You know what I mean? And I always said to them, just listen, no matter what level you play at, Premier League, whether it's the National League, enjoy playing football. And I've always encouraged my lads that they're not playing in the team as Elliot wasn't at Luton, go on loan. Just to play, he's been on loan probably 5-6 times. That's me telling him to go on loan and play. Because I said, eventually you'll get to my age and you won't fucking play, and you'll miss it. So I said, there's no point sitting on the bench and picking up your money and doing nothing. You might as well go and play football, and that's what I've always told them to do,
Okay, yes, Nick.
Yeah, it's a question I've seen put a lot like the former entertainer players, and it's a benefit of hindsight. Going back that Keegan season where we nearly won it, do you think if anything was changed tactically with his training methods, anything like that, would it make a difference? Would you have liked to change it? I know Bez says he wouldn't change anything for the world because he loved going into training every day,
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't have changed anything at all. This is a genuine question. If I could have played, like Watford and boomed it forward and win the league or played 5 years like we played for Keegan, I genuinely wouldn't have taken the medal. I would have played. That's an honest answer, because people still come up to us now and they talk about entertainment. We didn't win anything. People still know that we finished second. They know us more. Probably Man United finished first. You know, that's because of the way we played football. You know, I still get people come all the time. Wow, the way you used to play. I love watching your favourite second team of everybody, and I think that's not easy to do. That's not easy to do. And Bez is right. The way we trained, you know, honestly, it was 5 years of just playing with your mates and coming in, playing head tennis, playing a five-a-side, then playing in front of 30,000 people on a Saturday, usually winning, then going out and having a piss up, and then doing it again on the following Tuesday. And it was just, it was an amazing, amazing time. You know, for them 5 years, you think, wow, that was just so good. And playing for my idol and him playing, they always say never meet your idol, and because it let you down. And I met Kevin, and you stick with your idol on a pedestal, and he was everything I thought we would be, and he played football the way I wanted to play football. I remember Matt Letizia was Glenn Hoddle was, Hoddle was Matt Letizio's idol, and they fucking hated each other. So I played for my idol, which had pictures on my wall. I played for a club like Newcastle United for 10 years. Okay, didn't win anything, but we had a good time doing it, and I loved it.
Okay, next question. Yes, mate.
So just one area I want to talk about much is your England career. Like, how do you look back on your time with England? Do you have sort of overall, like, because I suppose during that time, I don't know, there was some good parts, but you also hear like a lot of sort of bitterness of some players looking back on an England career, like you have Gerrard and Ferdinand and all that, a few regrets. I don't know how you feel about your England career.
The only regret, really, not a regret. I didn't make the debut until I was 28, which is late. I didn't come here till I was just turned 26. So gone from playing rather than Charlton 8 months, 2 years to playing for England. So I loved every minute of it. Players that maybe start at 17 get a bit fed up with it. I loved every minute of it. The only thing that I think at Euro 96, I got left out of the squad. That was my sort of like time, if you like. That was when I was at my peak. We just lost the championship to Man United, and that was a big blow. And then fucking Terry Reynolds said, "You're not in the squad." With Jamie Redden actually better looking than you, so which is true. But I don't think it was a football fucking term. But I think I should have been in that Euro 96. That's what that's my only really not regret, but the thing that I should have. That was my opinion, because I played a lot of, because it was in the. I didn't play like near the. We had no qualifying games because we were the host nation, so I was playing a lot of international at school. When David Platt wasn't playing, he was even the captain. Unfortunately, he was in my position, it was a pain in the arse. And then Gaza as well. But I think behind them two, even at the time, I think I was big-headed. I think I was as good as fucking David Platt. Certainly not Gaza, but I was a similar sort of player to play. But I used to get in the box and score goals, and he wasn't going for a great time at the time. So I just think that 96 was I was the right age, it was my sort of like, it wasn't to be, unfortunately, but there you go. But no regrets. No, I loved playing for England, and it's just the greatest. I always, I look at young players now and you think, why do I want to be a footballer? Most people say, well, I want to be a millionaire, I want to be a billionaire, or I wanted to play for England. That's what I wanted to do. Nothing to do with money, nothing to do with anything. I wanted to play for England. Like Wembley and wanted to score. As you do with the kids, when you've got your jumpers with goal posts and stuff, and I managed to do it all. I've done all those things, so I certainly got no regrets.
Okay, next question. Yes, mate.
What was your highest and your lowest points in your playing career? Not just for Newcastle, in your whole career.
Lowest was fucking Rude Hullet. That was the lowest point I've ever been in any club at any time at all. It was Rude Hullet. That year with him was an absolute nightmare. I said the highest point was Kevin Keegan. Was playing for Kevin. playing those 5 years when the club went from nowhere, and within the space of like 2 years we were challenging Man United for titles, and I think for a club to do that you know, in that short space of time was an amazing. I said those 5 years I wouldn't swap for 5 years with Kenny. You know, I enjoyed my time with Bobby. I had a great time with Bobby. Even Kenny, I enjoyed with Kenny. Most of the time I enjoyed it up here, but the 5 years with Kevin was just seemed to be on a roller coaster, it was just going up and up and up, and I certainly wouldn't miss that for the world. So it's those are I had my best years at Newcastle. That was, you know, I was in 26 to 36, so 10 years of great times there.
Next question? Yes.
What's your favourite goal you scored for Newcastle and your favourite match you played in?
Well, if you're talking about me personally, Antwerp away was my favourite match. You know, scoring 3 goals in Europe and then 3 headers, and was an amazing achievement to do. I think the header at Wembley was favourite goal. Although it wasn't my best goal, it was my favourite goal. I think, you know, it's because of the best goal. Best goal was probably Coventry away when I saved shaking fucking arse, didn't I? 'Cause
The Irishman who didn't know where to do it.
yes, yeah. I remember doing it, and I'm thinking, Dublin, surely he's seen it. He's rolled it out, he's gone round it, and I put it in there, and I've gone running the linesman. I mean, what am I going to fucking say? I just remember running over there, you can't allow that, and he's like, why? I don't know. It's ridiculous, all run over there, all got over there, all starting. Yeah, there's no way, no. So I saved his arse that day anyway. It was a long range shot against Steve Grizzly, so that's probably the best.
Okay, next one. Anybody? Yes, ma'am.
Who do you think is the one player who could turn Newcastle into serious contenders?
To buy?
Sorry?
To buy?
Yeah.
Get to Harry Kane. I would push it all out by Harry Kane. I know for a fact we went to Declan Rice, which is brilliant. I know they spoke to him as well, so unfortunately he wanted to go to Arsenal, but again he would have been a brilliant signing for us as well. But I think getting Harry Kane would be amazing. I'm not sure Alan would like it, but
definitely not.
as he breaking his record in black and white stripes. So I don't think he'd like that too. I think he'd try and put the blockers on that. But yeah, I think somebody like that who's going to get you know, he gets 35 goals for Spurs, who are nowhere near as good as us, you know what I mean? So I think you got him in up front and scoring 30 goals. He'd never be, you know, hardly ever injured as well. So I think he would be an amazing signing, but I'm sure we won't get him.
Got 15 minutes left, so plenty of time for questions. Anybody got one? Yes.
As I said before, it's brilliant. He's a breath of fresh air when he came in. Strange, you know, didn't know people's names, and you know, they get all sorts of names wrong, and called Speedo Speedy, called Show Your Cold Call. It's not very politically correct these days, but yeah, apparently he was allowed to do it. He was just, but everyone, as I said before, you'd never get annoyed with him, and he had this, he brought in like a bit of discipline, and it's really hard to be disciplined by Bobby. Again, it's like your granddad coming in. We'd have tables like this in the restaurant for lunch, and we couldn't leave until Bobby had finished his lunch. So as he'd stroll in, we're all sort of like in jeans, and he'd stroll in his suit, immaculate suit, and he'd put his little thing up on his, like your old granddad used to do, and he'd what we got? Superstar, so that was suit. Coming down his top. We're all finished, so now we're all waiting. And he's done it deliberately. He done it deliberately, so take his time, his suit. Oh, that was lovely, that. Ainsley was lovely, that was. What's for lunch? Oh, chicken and potato, and okay, so we go up and get his like that, and he'd tell me like that. Fuck's sake, Gaffer. It's all the lads banging on tables now. He knew we were doing it. He's like, oh, it's lovely, this, and lovely. Go and let mix Wadsworth and everything. What's lovely, this, and everything. And we have sweet as well. And I think, fucking, it's having sweet now. Honestly, he'd make us wait there for like, it must be an hour and a half wait, and he has a cup of coffee, and we're going mad, we all want to get home, and then we said, right, you can go now, lads. All the chairs would go up and scream out. But he'd done it deliberately. He had a great way of getting all the lads together, and just had a great way about him. He was a really, really a nice guy, but loved football, loved the area, loved football, and whatever he did was all about football. I remember we went away to Trinidad and Tobago on an end of season tour. So I wasn't playing for England anymore, and I think Alan was playing, and he came, and I was the captain, and he came to me. I always remember coming to the airport. He said, "Son," he said, "they've fucked up the flights, the tickets, fucked it all up, man." I said, "What?" I said, "What's happened, Gav?" He said, "Well, we've only got 6 club class tickets for all the lads." He said, "The rest are all in economy." He said, "What do you reckon?" So I said, "What are you thinking, Gav?" He said, "I'm thinking senior players and me." And I said, "I totally agree." we were 6 of singing. We were in club for life and passing the beers back to the lads. But he was brilliant. Go, "What do you reckon?" "Yeah, I think you're right, Kathy. Yeah, all right, son." Brilliant guy, I loved him.
Great stuff. Anybody else? Yes, mate.
Any during the saga, did any other clubs come in for you during that time?
During the Rude Holiday? Yeah, I think he told me about he tried to fob me off to Wolves and Birmingham. I just signed a 3-year contract under Kenny, so I was sort of like, I was a pawn in his side, I really was. But they're the only ones that Trevor France at Birmingham, I think at the time. I can't remember if it was at Wolves, but and then the only other time was Leicester. Peter Taylor was at Leicester, and he rang me up about going there. But I didn't want to leave, and I sort of like knew if I held out for a year. I mean, the Sunderland game was the pivotal game because I think myself and Alan would both be gone if he was beat Sunderland. It was that close, I think. But the minute he come back and lost the game, and I had a feeling that he wouldn't be there long. You know, I thought I just got to put up with it for a. It wasn't easy at times. When I came back, we played in the cup final. Lost the cup final, came back, and he didn't give me a shirt. But he didn't tell me himself. He got Graham Courtney, who was the press officer, to tell me I hadn't got a shirt. Then he didn't want me to come into training. So it was me, Stuart Pearce, John Barnes. Don't want him in training. So you've got Steve Clark to tell us that. He hated confrontation. He wouldn't confront you. And I mean, as me and Stuart Pearce, our pre-season, we had bikes, and he said you can either go home or train with the youth team. So me and Stuart Pearce trained with the youth team. Most of the time, with Tommy Craig was the reserve team, youth team manager. So obviously, some of the times we were just going around bike riding around Chesley Street and having ice creams and stuff. It was absolutely mad. And then he said, "Oh, I don't want him coming in at all." So I used to go over with Peter Beardsley and train with the kids. And that went on for until he went. The day before he went, Steve Clark called me. He said, "Can you play Saturday?" I said, "Who we got?" I didn't have a clue. Man United away. I said, "Fuck off." I ended up playing. I ended up playing the game. Yeah. So I got in on the Tuesday, back with the team, and played on the Saturday. Done brilliant. Got beat 5-1.
Okay. Anybody else? Yes.
Just on Rude Holiday, what's out of square with that? Because you're not the only player that has sort of bad things to say about Rude Holiday in his time at Newcastle. Yet we reached a FA Cup final, and like, how does that like sort of happen with such an unpopular manager?
Well, again, I think he had good players. I mean, he was only playing me because he didn't play me in the middle. He was playing me right wing. You know, I was 34, 35. He was playing me on the right wing because he had nobody else to play. Because people were either cup tied, injured. So I had no one else to play. In the cup final, I didn't think I was playing the cup final. I thought, there's no way he's going to put me in the cup. But he had no one else. And that was Didier Marm came off he hated him as well. He came off at half time. You know, might be before half time, he said he's not going back on. So it was, we just had, sometimes if you've got good players, you're very lucky, you know. And We had players that wanted to play for Newcastle, but not for him really.
Okay. Anybody else? Yes, mate?
Who was the best player you played against, in your opinion?
I played against Zinedine Zidane, Juventus. Ridiculous, yeah, mad. He was like, I said, I didn't realise he was like 6'2". He was quick. He had great skills. Like I think we were 3-0 down after about 10 minutes. It was in their 100. It was only a centenary game. We went and played in a centenary game, 100 years of Juventus. So we managed to draw 3-0 in the end. But it was ridiculous. And then playing against Gaza, when he was at his blonde was ridiculous. That was. He was very. But there's so many good players that I played against. That it's very lucky with it.
Yes.
Who's the best player that you've played with?
Not Alan, can't say.
Can't say who?
And you can't say
Can't say
Sheila.
it.
I would never say Alan. As he is. Again, Gaza was ridiculously good, amazingly good. So such a talented, you wouldn't want to be with him for too long, but when he's on the football pitch. I remember I was playing with him, I can't remember what the game was, I think it was my second or third game, I was playing in midfield and with Gaza, and he was in one of those moods where he was like loving football and loving his life, and we were winning 2-1 in the last 15 minutes. Terror was screaming at me, keep Gaza next to you, keep Gaza next to you. And he's over there, he's like in the fucking corner over there, and he's running over there, and I remember Terry Federal. We won 2-1 in the end, and he said, Rob, I told you to keep Gaza next to you. I said, fucking hell. I said, you try and fucking keep him next to you. He'd run all honestly, just run all over the fucking, it's mad. But he was some player. He was some player.
Anybody else? Yeah, then you, mate.
I asked this question to Nobby Solano a couple of weeks ago. I asked him, who's the most surprising player that you kind of, in training, you'd think you weren't expecting them to be like that, and sort of surprise you?
Good or bad?
Like,
both.
Well, both, I suppose, but good is what I was meaning, but yeah, like,
well, I didn't realise, again, Ginola, I didn't realise how good he was. As I said, I didn't know anything about him. He looked really good. He looked too good looking to be a footballer. But he was, in training, he was ridiculous. Absolutely. Like Tino, again, I didn't know much about Tino. I took no interest in Italian. I'd heard of him, but never. But some of the things they did in training, was ridiculous. Wow, has he done that? Then other days you think, fucking, has he done that? If it was raining, they both come out, they've got their gloves on, they've got everything got their. Honestly, absolutely like Michelin men. How can they run like that? They're freezing cold, and then you've got them on your team, you're going to get fucking beat. And then if the sun's out and we're playing Man United on Saturday, oh yeah, they're brilliant. So yeah, there was a lot. I mean, the nicest guy that I met was Kenny signed Des Hamilton. Des Hamilton.
Yeah.
Lovely guy. Really, really nice guy. Not a good footballer. And we used to play pranks on each other at Newcastle, and he came in, and I remember it was his first or second day, and I was injured, and I still regret to the day what I did to him, but I was injured, and then and Alan came in, and he had this white top on, and it's like a Dolce Gabbana top, costing a fortune, but it looked like an England top, so like blue stripes here, and he thought, I fucking paid loads for this, look at this, yeah, looks good out. Yeah, so I'll put his top on there, and he went out to train, and Des Hamilton was like coming in, and he was having fitness tests, and I'm on the bed. So I got Alan's top, and I went to Des. Des, can you sign this England top for us? I still do it now. So it's only his second day. So he signed Des on the top, and I just put it back on Alan's page. And Alan doesn't take tricks very well at all. So I just knew I'm now like a school kid waiting for Alan to come in because he's going to go fucking mad. So Al's got change, and he's fucking all nice and giving it all the big one, and he's got his top. Who the fucking hell's going on? And I said, well, it says Des Hamilton on there. So Alan, honestly, his only trick to get you back was he used to cut your jeans, scissors, cut your tops, cut your trainers, and that's the only thing. He had no imagination. That's all he used to do. So I just remember Des Hamilton coming out on his second day out of training ground. He looked like Robinson Crusoe. Everything was cut up, and he was almost in tears, like going back to his car. And I was like, oh my god, you know, it's so bad. Lovely guy, not a great player.
Did you still have your question, Nick?
Yeah, it was. Was there a player that you felt never reached their full potential?
Yeah, I would say Steve Watson was. When I got to the football club, Steve Watson was. Fucking he could play anywhere. He was like a specimen. I've never told him actually. I'm actually good friends with him. I've never said to him, "You never make your potential." But I think he knows. He was so good. You know what I mean? Maybe he didn't take football quite as seriously as he should have done. But he had everything. You know, he was quick. I mean, the goal he scored against Liverpool in the cup. He played up front. He played centre forward. You know what I mean? He could play anywhere. Not always well, but he could. But he could play anywhere. He played right back, played left back, played centre. I think goal for us once. I think. And he was just talented. And I found him really difficult to play against when he went wherever. When he went to Villa, he was just such a talented, strong, quick. So I think he should have played for England. I mean, I think he was that good, but maybe he didn't take the game quite as seriously as he should have done. But again, great guy. Like still seeing get on great with him. But yeah, maybe him, the talent he had, and the ability. Yeah.
Okay, we'll finish off, Rob, just by looking ahead to this season. How do you see Newcastle United doing? I mean, still time to sign others in the transfer window, but if this was the squad we started the season with, where do you think Newcastle will finish?
As I said, I think it'll be more difficult. I don't see Ryan with confidence in the top four again, but it's going to be a lot tougher. Liverpool will be better. Chelsea and Pochettino will be better. Arsenal will be good again. We've got Declan Rice now, so Man City will be Man City. Man United, I think, are going to be good as well. So it's going to be. We'll certainly be in the top six, and it's how we do against the teams that I think the players we've signed, the players we've got at this club. If I wouldn't be too disappointed, I would be scared if we're winning as we are now. We've got if everyone's fit, and I hope they all are. So we've got some good youngsters coming through. Then we're as good as anybody when everyone's fit. And it'd just be interesting to see who he picks for the first. As I said, who he picks for the first game. Does he play Isaac? Does he play Wilson? I think again Isaac. Harvey Barnes will play. Again, I'd like to see play Anderson. I think if he does well, we could have a superstar on our hands. I really do. But he's got to play. He's got to have the balls to play, which I think he has. I think at the back we're solid. We don't let too many goals in. We've got a great goalkeeper. So I don't see too many weaknesses. It's just be how long the season is to play all those games. But I'm sure Eddie's got his eye on a couple of players to bring in before it starts.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure spending time with you. Spending with Rob. Thanks very much for coming out and such a hard day. Take care.